Warrior Super Edition Firestar's Quest by Aaron Hunter. Chapter 19. Firestar's heart thudded so hard it felt as if it would burst out of his chest. He could hardly breathe, and the words he wanted to say trembled out in a rush. "Were you once this warrior of Sky Clan?" "I was not," the old cat replied. Before Firestar had time to feel disappointed, Sky went on. "My mother's mother was born into the clan. By the time I was born, Sky Clan was no more, but my mother taught me the ways of a clan warrior." Firestar exchanged an excited glance with Sandstorm. Her eyes were stretched wide. "We were right," she mewed to Firestar. "This was Sky Clan's home." "Go on, Sky." Firestar took a step toward the old cat. "Tell us more about Sky Clan." To Firestar's dismay, Sky recoiled. "Why do you want to know?" he demanded. "Why is it to you?" "We want to help you," Firestar explained. "We come from the forest where Sky Clan once lived." "We're the Cats of Thunder Clan," Sandstorm added. "My name is Sandstorm, and this is Firestar, the clan leader." The old cat's ears flattened as imprudent mistrust were fighting with the respect of a true warrior will show for a clan leader. Firestar realized this must be the first leader Sky had ever met. "I had a dream." Firestar sat down, his tail wrapped against his paws to make it look unthreatening as possible. After a moment of hesitation, Sky sat down too, and listened while Firestar told him everything that happened since his very first vision for the gray and white cat in the ravine outside the Thunder Clan camp. "I'm sure he was the leader of Sky Clan when he was driving out the forest," Firestar finished. "He begged me to come and find the lost clan." "And you came all this way because of a dream?" Sky added. "I came because I have to." Sky sprang to his paws again, the thin gray fur on his shoulders bristling. "Do you think it's easy at that?" he spat. "Do you think the wrongs of the past can be forgiven so easily?" What do you mean?" Sandstorm mewed, bewildered. "It was thanks for the 4 clans left in the forest that my ancestors were driven out their home when they became here. They thought it would be safe, but later found it terrible as the territory they had left. Your ancestor destroyed my clan." After a few heartbeats, Firestar afraid the old cat could even teeth and claws bared. He breathed himself, knowing that he could never raise a paw against this noble old warrior. Then Sky drew a deep breath and sat down. "This is a time of truth. I will not seek revenge while the moon is full for the wrong done to my ancestors." Firestar was beginning to feel alarmed. What's wrong with the gorge that meant Sky Clan hadn't been able to stay here? With some prey at least, fresh water and shelter, and a little threat from 2 lakes. A cliffside camp seemed to be perfect refuge for cats. What happened? Why did they all leave?" Sky turned his head away. A low keening came from his throat. It was moaning of the cats of Sky Clan, driven out, lost, or dead. Sandstorm patted forward and gently touched the shoulder with her tail. "Tell us why you are called Sky," she urged. The old cat looked up at her. "My mother gave me that name," he rasped, "so that I could never forget my ancestors. I never have. That's why I come here every full moon." "That must be really lonely sometimes," Sandstorm muttered. Sighing, Sky looked up at the glitter of silver fell. "I don't know if my worthy ancestors listened to me, but I will keep the way of the warrior alive until my last breath." "We know you stay one in the cave in the night of the full moon," Percy began hesitantly, not wanting to upset the old cat anymore. "Sandstorm and I've been able sleeping there. I hope you don't mind." Sky let a disgusted snort. "Then you must met those 2 kitty pets. That's how your stupid name they gave me." "Yes, we've seen them," said Sandstorm. "They live in a 2-ling nest and eat pap," the old cat exclaimed. They say I'm crazy." Firestar caught a glimpse from Sandstorm as she were trying to warn not to mention it would once been a kitty pet. He certainly didn't intend to. Sky's opinion of him was low enough to without that. We scared them away, told Sky. You shouldn't have any trouble with them. Sky twitched his ears. For a moment, Firestar sounded almost disappointed. Did you notice anything unusual about them? He asked. Firestar cast his mind back to the encounter with the kitty-pet. He could remember anything distinct except for their rudeness, and he didn't think Sky meant that. Then he pictured the two of them ran back to the two-leg nest. Cherry jumped into a tree, he recalled. Is that what you mean? Sky nodded. I think those two kitty pets are the skinned from Sky Clan cats. Sandstorm ears pricked with surprise. Those two mouse brains? When the clans were forced out of the gorge, Sky explained, most of the cats, including my mother's mother, became rogues or loners. But some of them, those who were too old or too young to hunt, went to live with two legs. He stared across the scrub to where harsh orange lights of the two-leg place in the sky. Strange, he muttered. So many of those cats. She must share my blood. Yet none of them knows who I really am. He bowed his head again. What happened? Firestar asked. Where did Sky Clan have to leave the gorge? The old cat did not reply. Firestar wasn't even sure he had heard the question. You look tired, Sandstorm mewed. Would you like me to hunt for you? Sky tensed. Firestar sprayed the Sandstorm offered had offended him. Then he looked up, blinking gratefully. Thank you, it's been a long night. Immediately, Sandstorm looked across the rift and disappeared down the trail into the gorge. Firestar followed more slowly with Sky. He was ready to help the old cat cross the gap, but leaping from the rock was easier than leaping up, and Sky landed with his forepaws firmly on the trail. Firestar let him lead the cave. As he padded behind, Firestar realized that Sky reminded him of Yellowfang. He had the same proud reverse as the former Medicine cat. He was clear and comfortable and pricky around other cats, yet he shared Yellowfang's strength and her key common to her clan. Sky had all the qualities of a true warrior. Courage, faith, and loyalty to his clan. Yet everything he had been based on the tales told him by his mother. Sky Clan from nose to tip of her tail and never been part of a real clan. Sky clambered up to the mouth of the cave and paused, whiskers twitching. Firestar was nervous. He could feel insulted that he and Sandstorm had brought in bedding. But when he must slip in the bare sandy floor, the old cat let out a flat snort and padded over the hollows and curled up without any comment in nest of ferns or feathers. He was barely settled when Sandstorm appeared in the entrance, mouse dangling from her jaws. She crossed the cave to Sky and laid it down in front of him. A gray cat scratched one paw and prodded it. A bit skinny, isn't it? Before Sandstorm could defend her catch, he dragged the mouse closer and began drawing rapid gulps. Sandstorm glanced at Firestar, her eyes gleaming with laughter, and mouthed, Yellowfang. Sky finished off the last grab of the mouse. He swept his tongue again and asleep almost at once, his snores echoing through the cave. Firestar and Sandstorm scratched up together in the remaining line nest. Sleep refused to come to Firestar. Brag and prick against his fur, and Sky snoring echoed off the sandy walls. Sandstorm was restless too, sniffing among the bedding. But that wasn't what kept Firestar awake. His mind buzzed with troubled thoughts. He wondered whether the Sky Clan ancestors were watching him, or his former leader, Bluestar. Neither of them sent any signs since they came to the gorge. Could the Sky Clan border be trapped somewhere else, unable to watch over his former home? Eventually, he slipped into a disturbed sleep. Sunlight streaming into the cave woke him the next morning. Sandstorm was already sitting up beside them, grooming herself, while Sky snored the last opposite. Are you ready to go and hunt? Sandstorm asked. Firestar heaved himself out of the nest with a huge yawn. His leg was stiff, but he knew he wouldn't sleep again. The game saw the brisk shake to the slow strike of breaking from his fur. Lead on, he mewed. By the time they reached the riverside, he was beginning to feel better. He waded through the shallows for a few paces, enjoying the sensation of cool water on paths that was still sore from scrambling up and down the cliff. Then he and Sandstorm headed downstream to where the trees and undergrowth sheltered prey. It was good to hunt side by side like this, Firestar thought, without having to worry organizing patrols or keeping a watch on the borders. The forest suddenly seemed very far away. Could I stay here forever? Wondered, could I live without a clan? Then he heard Sandstorm let a faint sigh. He was gazing down at Lead and the river. when the current had swung in the horror under the bank beneath a hazel bush. It looked almost exactly like the place where ThunderClan crossed the stream on the way to Fortress. Forrester's thoughts went whirling back to his own territory. How had ThunderClan fared together the night before? And what did the other clans think they heard he left the forest? The idea that he might choose not to go seeing the remote the stars. He was a ThunderClan leader, a force when he belonged. Except for Sky. All the Sky Clan cats were long gone. There was nothing more that Forrester could do for them. Once he listened to the rest of the Sky story and found out why the Sky Clan cats had left the caves, it was time to go home. He and Sandstrom hunted and carried a fresh girl back to the cave. But when he reached the entrance, Forrester stopped in surprise. The hollow in the cave floor was empty. Sky was gone.